We're looking at your health. Contraception, if you're a male, it's something family planning and tied into all of this. And this morning we're very lucky to have on set with us, we all know the international company Bayer, one of their reps and really one of the doctors associated with this company, Dr. Phillip Smits. Did I get it right?
Smits.
Smits.
Yeah.
It's an interesting translation from the European continent. So, Doctor, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, yesterday was World Contraception Day, recognizing the need for proper family planning, recognizing the need for contraception. What does World Contraception Day mean internationally?
So Bayer is a leader in the field of women's healthcare. We have a mandate to further women's healthcare through our products, through our services. We want to further contraceptive care. And one of the initiatives that we started 5 years ago was World Contraception Day. Is World Contraception Day. And yesterday we celebrated World Contraception Day. World Contraception Day is about reaching out to women, to couples, and providing them with fair and balanced, relevant information about all the different methods that we have at our hands to do contraception. There's a lot of different options women and couples have, and it's important that they understand the benefits and the risks, the pros and cons of all of these different methods of contraception.
Now, that would have been my other question to you, the methods of contraception. They're the routine ones, the pill. What are some of the different types? I know technology has changed, so there are a number of new things on the market.
Well, one of the most popular methods of contraception today still is the pill. And believe it or not, the pill has been around for 50 years. In 1960-61, the pill was first introduced, and by far the pill is still the most used method of contraception. And there's probably very good reasons for that, because the pill is very convenient. It is 99.9% effective if you take it every day, if you don't forget taking your pill. It has a very good side effect profile, and the pill also does many things beyond contraception, a lot of things that women are not even aware of. There's all these myths. For example, women believe that the pill is associated with an increased risk of cancer. The opposite is true. There's very good data now that show us that long-term pill use is actually associated with a reduction in some very serious cancer. For example, ovarian cancer, one of the most lethal cancers, one of the most lethal gynecological cancers. Long-term pill use is associated with a 50% reduction in ovarian cancer.
Now, that would have been my question, because a lot of times some young ladies are actually introduced to ensure proper balance of hormones, even with the risk of polycystic ovaries, for a number of reasons. Even to clear acne up, some people are put on the pill. And then you have the myth of, if you are taking contraceptions or you have been taking birth control for well over 10 years, that the possibilities are decreased in your ability to conceive. Is there any truth to that?
No, there's no truth to that. And that's one of the reasons why we think an initiative like World Contraception Day is so important. So we want to clear up some of the myths. Let's talk about one or two of those myths. Women think that if they use the pill for many years, that their fertility goes down,
right,
and that they would have trouble conceiving once they stop taking their pill. There's very good data that shows that it's absolutely not the case.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been on the pill for 5 or even 10 years, let's say you start at 20, you're now 30, you want to conceive, your odds, your chances of becoming pregnant are just the same as a woman that wouldn't have been on the pill. Of course, what we shouldn't forget is that if you get older, as women get older, their chances of conceiving go down, but it has nothing to do with the pill. So the pill is not, long-term pill use is not associated with decreased odds of becoming pregnant.
Now, also the increase of developing blood clots in your system. That is something that is also out in the public domain as a result of birth control. Is there any truth to that?
Yes, there is, and that is something that we have known very much so since the beginning. We've known that for 50 years. It's also very clearly labeled in all the pills. So important to know, the pill has a very good side effect profile. It is safe to use. However, we do know that there is one serious side effect associated with the pill, and that's the formation of blood clots, typically in the leg. There's an increased risk for that, but fortunately, and that's the good news, this is a very rare event, but all pills are associated with a slightly increased risk for the formation of blood clots.
Also, the benefits of going on birth control. Some people talk about the better skin, reduced mood swings. What are some of the positives associated with taking the contraception or going on contraception?
Yeah, it's really quite amazing, because here you have a product, we've had it now for 50 years, and it has benefits beyond what it's primarily intended to do. The primarily function, the purpose of taking the pill, of course, is prevention of unwanted pregnancy. But we also know, and that's because of how the pill works, it has a very favorable effect on skin. That's why especially a lot of young women, girls in 19, 20-year-olds that also suffer from skin problems typically do very well on the pill. Some pills, other than others, also work very well with regards to symptoms, premenstrual syndrome symptoms. So there's a lot of benefits that go well beyond just contraception.
For the mothers out there, and they're looking at this interview this morning, is there a time that's simply too young to start on birth control?
Well, that is a personal choice.
Right.
I think contraception is something that most of us can associate and relate with. How and if people do contraception, that is something that is their personal choice. What we as a leader in the field believe is important is that people understand all the pros and cons of the different methods. If you want to use natural method of family planning, that would be fine, but of course that is very unreliable.
Right.
If you only want to use condoms, even condoms, you know, if you would use condoms for a year, the odds of getting pregnant are about 10 to 20%, so even condoms are not very reliable.
What is the failure rate of birth control? Is there any risk of getting pregnant while you're on the pill?
That is possible. If you take the pill every day, and you do not forget to take the pill, then the effectiveness rate of the pill is 99.9%. Unfortunately, we do know that women often forget to take a pill. And once you start forgetting a pill, then obviously the real-life effectiveness rate goes down. Typically, what we believe is that in most countries, the real-life effectiveness is about 95%. That's not because the pill doesn't work, but it's because women forget their pills sometimes.
Now, looking at the possible side effects, and there have been a number of ads that are running on the US networks talking about if you've been taking this, that, and you've developed this condition or that condition, what are some of the risks associated with birth control?
Well, as I said earlier, in general, the pill is considered to be safe. It has a good side effect profile. But the one serious side effect that we always need to be aware of are the blood clots.
Right.
That is a serious side effect. When you take the pill, you have an increased risk, but there's also other risk factors that lead to an increased risk of the formation of blood clots. For example, age is an independent risk factor, weight is an independent risk factor. That's also why we believe it is important that doctors and women understand that not all women are good candidates for the pill, and that's one of the reasons why we also offer different methods of contraception. For example, intrauterine contraception is a very good option for many women as well.
Now, that's the other question I'd ask you about, the different types of contraception that are available on the market. How do you determine which one best suits your needs, your lifestyle?
Yeah, it's something that we'd like to call individualization of choice, and I think it's very important that a company like ours recognize the fluidity in contraceptive needs. So what works for an 18-year-old that is perhaps looking for a reliable form of contraception but also has some skin problems, for that woman or young girl, the pill would probably be an excellent choice. If we have a couple and the woman is, let's say, 35 and she has really completed her family, perhaps for her intrauterine contraception is a better option. So it really depends a little bit on where you are in your life stage, where you are with your family. Have you completed your family? Have you not completed your family? Do you also have other issues? We have one product for intrauterine contraception. It's called Mirena, which also works very well in women that suffer from heavy menstrual bleeding. So if you're looking for reliable long-term contraception and you also have heavy menstrual bleeding, that, for example, would be a very good option.
Some women choose to stop and start birth control. Maybe sometimes you just get tired of taking it every single day. You decide to stop for a couple of months and restart. Is there anything, any risk associated with doing that? Is it something advisable?
I would say in general that's not advisable, but we recognize, of course, that women also go through different relationships. So I think that is a reality, that women sometimes stop taking the pill for a few months and then they have a new boyfriend and they start taking the pill. The only thing to keep in mind, we were talking about blood clots earlier, and we know that the risk for blood clots is increased when you take the pill. It's especially increased during the first few months. So that's why stopping or starting purely for that reason is not such a great idea, but we know it's a reality.
It is a reality. And then let's talk about women who change their methods of contraception. So maybe 1 year you may be on the pill, then the next year you change the pill, then the next year you decide to go on a patch. The year after that you decide to put in a ring. What is that advisable as well? Because sometimes people experiment with different methods to determine, I guess, which one best suits them.
I think it's, again, a reality that often women are trying to find the right form of contraception. And even within, let's say, the pill, some pills work for women, others don't.
Right.
And what we often see is that women start on one pill, they don't like it, and then they switch to another pill. And that is perfectly fine, because you need to find that product, that form of contraception that really works for you.
Now, talking about looking forward, and let's talk about now women are actually having children a lot later. So maybe, you know, we talk about girls starting young, but maybe there are those that have different lifestyle changes and they may be deciding to go on birth control a little later in life. Are there any risk factors associated with that as well? No,
I mean, we see that girls start taking the pill, but sometimes women start taking the pill in their 20s or their 30s. There's no real age restriction, although, again, age is an independent risk factor for blood clots. So if you're 40 and you're looking for reliable contraception, maybe the pill is not the most obvious choice.
Before we wrap, a quick question from our Twitter account: weight gain.
Weight gain. That is top of mind for many, many women.
Yes.
And we know that when you start taking the pill, with some pills more than others, you can gain 1 or 2 pounds. This is not fat what you gain. Typically it's fluid. It has to do with the estrogen that's part of the pill. There are pills, however, that barely result in any weight gain. So there's some differences between the pills and weight gain. But in general, the weight gain is very, very small.
Doctor, we just have a minute to wrap this interview. Your closing comments, Trinidad and Tobago.
My closing comments on this topic, very important, make sure you know the facts about different forms of contraception. There's a lot of different methods available. All methods have pros, they also have cons. Understand that, find the right product, find the right option that works for you.